feeding program is going. We'll continue. We'll make it better. We will strengthen the health program to make sure that all pregnant women get medical treatment without paying, because according to all international statistics, Liberia is among the 10 countries where pregnant women die most. We have to stop that. And also, we have to stop or slow down infant mortality rate by making sure that children from 0 age, from the time of their birth until they're 5 years old, get free medical treatment, and that all Liberians 65 years up will get free medical treatment. These things are possible if we stop the wastage in government and use the money to strengthen these programs, as well as, you know, give better compensation and benefits to nurses, to police officers, to teachers, you know, and people like that, because they do the real work. It is possible. You say, when there's a will, there will always be a way.
Many persons would think that saying these things, they are easily said, you know. But how do you intend to tackle, for example, the issue of corruption? Well, former President Saleh talked about it being a vampire, and now President Weir is talking about we are interrelated. So how will Gongloe tackle the issue of corruption?
So that is so wrong. You can have one child, and if you refuse to discipline that child, you are derelict. It is your duty to discipline that one child. You cannot say, because I have one child. President Saleh said, oh, you know, someday I want to reshuffle my cabinet and remove the bad apples from the cabinet, but then this country is so small, I get calls to my sister or my brother and all these people, and then I don't do it. Then I heard President George Weah say, y'all say driver beat it, when the drivers that beat it, nobody, you know. So I said to myself, they are not ready. I, in my whole life, have not compromised on decision making. I don't care who you are. The people around me, I will tell you, my people very close to me, including my driver, people who live with me and all of that, I will tell you that I do not compromise fundamental decisions. That's why I resigned from the government. I had a very good job, I was minister, but I had a fundamental difference with my boss, the president, because of the same reason that she was not prepared to fight corruption. So I resigned. That's the only way I could have. After I had talked privately, I was tired.
So are you saying to us that because of corruption, that's why you resigned from the
government?
Oh
yes. The policy differences.
Okay.
You know.
Can you be specific which case allowed you to resign?
No, not case. I'm Minister of Labor now.
I know.
But there were people in government that were corrupt, and she did not want, they were her friends, she did not want to name and shame them. And you say, oh, all the cabinet ministers should go home for 2 weeks, and when I don't call you back, then you are no more in my government, which is a backdoor way trying to avoid. And we knew that those who were not called back were corrupt, but that's not a way to fight corruption. You ought to name them, prosecute them, let there be consequences, irrespective of who they are. And that's where I respect President Tolbert, because the man signed that warrant for his own relative, William, who was named after him, William Tolbert, a younger relative. He was accused of killing his wife. The court found him guilty. He went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court affirmed. The death warrant came to him. He signed the death warrant. He said, because I have an obligation to uphold the law, I took oath to obey the Constitution and statute laws. And he did it. So my question, when I always tell leaders, if President Saleh President Tolbert, could execute his own relative, what is wrong with dismissing someone from government or suspending our president? Those are lighter decisions than actually signing death warrant. You know, so the call of leadership is to take hard decisions. You know, I always say, example of a leader is what Zelensky is doing in Ukraine. I mean, I don't want to go into the politics between Russia and Ukraine, but the fact that America and Britain asked him to give him leave to leave the country because Russia is a more powerful country and they didn't feel he could fight Russia. And he said, I will die in my country. I will stand up for the sovereignty of my country. He could have been killed long time. But those are the hard decisions that you take as president. And I'm prepared to take hard decisions. My life I went to jail at the age of 22 at the University of Liberia, arguing against bad governance. I suffered on a do. I suffered on a tail. I was ordered detained and seriously tortured overnight, but I'm not changed. And the fact that I resigned from government means I don't care for economic opportunity. I care for the improvement of our country. And for that, I will not compromise. Because my conscience, if nobody even judges me, my conscience can be so hard on me. And that is why I do what is right under all circumstances.
Another major issue that we, the Liberian people, keep talking about, and I guess you experienced a few days ago, the issue of food security. How do you intend to tackle that if you like to?
I have an answer for that. I'm a farmer's son. My father's school teacher was a farmer. My mother was a farmer. But what people don't know is that the only sustainable way of maintaining food security is to grow rice in this country. Importation of rice is not sustainable, will never help us, because India, with a population of over 1 billion people, is growing rice, feeding itself and sending the excess to us. And when India does not send rice to us, then we start getting jittery. That is so disgraceful and shameful, because we are estimated to be about 5 million people, and then we have vast land. And government has no program to grow rice. That is terrible.
The argument is, how will you plant the rice when there's no road?
So, again, there's no road because government has not maintained the roads. When I was growing up, long before you were born, we didn't have the situation that exists today. Under Tubman and Talbot, there used to be public work yards in every county. And there were public work yards in Ganta, for example, in Nimba. There was one in Tapeta to take care of the rain, and the machines used to come from Tapeta, work on the road halfway, and the machines from Ganta would work on the road halfway during the dry season. So when I was growing up, there was not a time that cars could not come from Cape Palmas to Monrovia. And then there was not a time that cars could not come from Vonjama or Foya to Banga and to Monrovia. You know, so under my regime, I know the good days. So I will have public work yards restored. You know, it's not good to do away with everything that every past government does. You take the good ones and use it. In the past, that was a good methodology, since we didn't have payrolls all over the country, to maintain public work yards in all of the counties in order to maintain the road. Routine maintenance is an obligation of government. You can't contract everything. And we know in this corrupt country, the contracting process is full of red tape. People have to bribe and all of that. That takes time.
Most of the things require funding.
Yeah. I just said we'll cut off the waste that comes through corruption.
What do you refer to waste?
Corruption. Okay. Corruption. You know, and paying people fabulous salary. There are being times in the country that people are made up to 30,000, 15,000, 20,000 in a country. You know, we have had a situation where the Speaker of House of Representatives and the President pro tem were making more than the Speaker and President pro tem of America, giving our country that's total waste. You know, you can't be a begging country.
Will you be willing to reduce your own salary?
Oh, yes. I don't know the president's salary now.
The president cut 25% from his salary.
No, but you know his salary? I don't know his salary. If his salary is 100,000 from when he got 25% and nothing, I don't know his salary. And with my level of education, I don't know the president's salary. So I don't expect any ordinary person to know the salary. When you say you got 25%, he needed to tell us how much his salary was. You know, so he didn't do it. That was not correct. But one of our measures of fighting corruption, the president's salary, the value of his assets, his benefits will be placed on the Executive Mansion website for you journalists to refer to it. So if the president's salary and benefits, as well as the asset value, can be on the internet, you can rest assured that everybody in government down to civil service salary will be on the internet.
I guess Councillor Gongloe will declare his salary before maybe taking office.
If I know the salary even before...
I'm talking about you declaring your asset. Will you do such thing?
It is in my plan that I will declare my asset before I even take oath of office. All right? I will do that. You see? And then before I appoint you minister, you will declare your asset and you give me a copy. I will send it to the Senate. I will put it on the internet so that ordinary people can also call the Senate while you are going through. If you leave for some of your assets, they will call and say that man left for some of your assets. or he overstated his assets, people would know. So for transparency, where you know, one of the ways of fighting corruption is open governance. So the people of Liberia, the employers of those who serve in the government, it is their obligation to know their salary. How you can be employer, you don't know the salary of the people who are working under you. So we'll make it known. Then the next thing we'll do, and I'm challenging all presidential candidates, including the president who is also running, to share this with me, to agree with me on this, that the GAC will do a lifestyle audit of the president and all commission officials of government, as well as heads of public corporations. Lifestyle audit every 3 months. What is lifestyle audit? Not institutional audit. I appoint you minister, and in 3 months you start building one-story building, your lifestyle has changed. The auditor should ask you, where did you get this money from? We know your salary is on the internet. We know your benefits. We know your asset value. So where you got the money from? You can explain. President Gongloe will dismiss you immediately and send you to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, for detailing investigation and prosecution. And at the end of it, you could go to jail for 5 to 10 years, and your assets will be taken from you, and your children, your family members will be suffering. Your children will suffer. And I strongly believe that if 5 officials of government go to jail and their family members are suffering, other ministers or officials of government will be afraid to steal. That's how we end corruption. And we have a lot of money to use for this protection and social services in Liberia today. The police is catching a hard time. I'm not making an excuse for them, but they don't have logistics to work. Even
what are your plans in the problem for the secret?
Oh, no. You cannot run any country without placing emphasis on law enforcement.
Okay.
I cannot say I will improve the law enforcement situation without providing what the law enforcement needs. You know, fully. I've been Solicitor General before, and there's no way you can prosecute without the police working hard to collect the evidence that you need. Police is the first important official of government in any country that believes in stability. When you go to America, the police can give ticket to even senator or anybody, and they apply the police in America applies the law equally to everybody. You can be a cook. If you exceed your speed limit, for example, they say 55 miles per hour on the road, you exceed it, they give you ticket. If a senator exceeds it, they give the senator a ticket. If a secretary, the minister, they call them secretary. If a secretary of a department exceeds it, he gets the same ticket that a cook gets. So there's equal application of the law.
There are people who think that Councillor Gongloe, who as a candidate against President George Weah, is a Herculean task. Why don't you guys collaborate as opposition, and maybe you, the boycott Cummings, put aside egos, and then do a one shot?
You know, election is competition. I'm for, they say politics is the act of the possible. Everything is possible. And everything lies in the logical realm of probability. Things can change today, they can change tomorrow. It's just like I was sitting in the studio, we hear gunshot outside, we'll not be still way. We'll all run outside and be looking for way. So we have up to next year, but I think coming together just based on personality, for me, this country, they executed, removed President Toba, executed 13 of his cabinet ministers, and nothing changed. In fact, things became worse. So we should think about what happens a day after George Weah is no more president. How would this country be? That is what the Liberian people are interested in, and they should look at our track records and see who can do it better. Who by his track record has shown that he has the ability to make hard decisions in the interest of the country.
But what you wanted to do if he elected as president? Are you not saying that maybe in the leg of the Unity Party, for example?
Well, I'm not being particular here. I'm just saying that it is possible for people to come together, but when you come together, you have to come together on the basis of setting agreement, right? And so that has to be discussed. What are issues to be discussed? We agree that Liberia is going down. So what should we should agree on how we carry Liberia forward. And I believe it is that agreement that will keep you together. I'm sure you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever. If you're a Christian, it is that value that keeps you and myself in terms of religion agreeing on something. If people are Muslims, it is that value that keeps them together, because when they have differences, they go to the Quran. When you have differences, we go to the Bible. If we are, in the United States politically, the Democrats are people who believe in liberal values. You know, same-sex marriage, where a woman, has a right to abort, all those liberal values, right? And giving free food to people who are unemployed, trying to help the society. So then the Republicans believe in conservatives, and they say everybody should work hard for what they earn, no freebies. But so the ideas can keep people together. So, politically, philosophy, communists.
So, Councilor, looking at the way you guys are all separated right now, Eating going to the election, can you guys better win President Weah?
I don't think that you journalists should be promoting President Weah, because by saying that unless people collaborate, they can't win President Weah.
So why is Councilor Gongloe stronghold right now?
Gives President Weah what he does not have. President Weah cannot even win 5% of the votes.
Why is Councilor Gongloe stronghold
on Bergube Avenue or even in West?
Councilor, can you please answer this question? Where is the stronghold as we hear towards the election?
whole of Liberia. I'm a poor man's lawyer. I've been teaching. The whole of Liberia, there's no household that you call Councilor Gongloe near me and they say, who? Just by being on your radio today, I'm the most accessible political person in this country, even from being an activist. I never refuse to be interviewed. People meet me in the street. I like teaching. I teach every day of my life, because in that way you put your value. I teach at the police academy when they call me, free of charge. The other day I went in the States, I was speaking in North Dakota. I said I teach in a magistrate school, I teach in the law school, I teach in the police academy, I teach everywhere. I go to Atasha. If I'm not doing anything in my law, I just go talk to young people to transform them. And then when I got through the same question, answer, and comment, Tatos came back, got up. He said, I used to be commandant of the police academy. I can testify to the fact that Councilor Gongloe came and taught my senior officer, coach, the current police director, Patrick Sudu, were in that class. I said, well, I don't have to say anything. And these kinds of things I do for society. I used to be an adult literacy teacher when I was a student at the University of Liberia. So my activities has made me a household name, because I don't refuse ever to be. This week, I spoke at graduation program. Last week, I spoke at graduation program. And then I'm so less busy, but I am serviceable to society. I'm always prepared to come. This is in the middle of court hour. You asked me the agenda for better Liberia. I said we have to rehabilitate our socially challenged youth. That's how I call them. You call them Zogos, and also give them skills. Rehabilitate them, give them skills for them to find a better way of living, so they don't refer to the old life. And expand the economy. I have an economic program that will absorb a lot of young people in this country, including those affected in the street. I have said that when I become president, I'll give incentive to any company that wants to establish a factory 50 miles away from Monrovia. You get incentive, including reduction of corporate taxes. In fact, for the first 5 years, you pay no tax while you are building your factory. And when you are building your factory, you'll be employing carpenters, masons, and all of that. And then for 5 years, when your factory is open, that during that 5 years, you'll not pay. And then when the factory is open, there will be reduction. And it will be graduated. You go 100 miles, you pay even lower than the 50 miles. You go 150 miles like that. So that if your company is in Barclayville, let me call the president's home county, or Harper, Maryland, or even in Funchama, you pay very low corporate tax. But here is the benefit that government will get. If you employ 500 personnel, 500 employees, when you get income, government will get income tax. So it will expand the government's tax base. All right? And then those 500 employees in Harper will start renting from the people living in Harper, who got houses in Harper. They will get income. Government will tax that income. They and the workers will also buy goods and services in Harper. The income earners will pay tax to government. Then that means my policy will be putting money in the pockets of the ordinary people living in Cape Palmas and putting money in the pocket of the government. It is the income generated from taxation that we use to improve the health, the educational, road, food production situation in that area. Not talk about food production, and we'll do that. It will slow down the rural urban migration because right now the economy is concentrated in Monrovia, is centralized to the extent that everybody leaves Grand Crew, leave Maryland, leave Lofa, leave Bapool, and come to Monrovia for greener pastures. When they get here, no job, some of them get into drug habit, and then they get into armed robbery and other crimes. They end up in jail. Our jails are packed. But if you create centers of employment, different centers of economic activities, then they don't have to come to Monrovia. And that will even decongest Monrovia. So they might reverse the migration trend. People might start going back to their own home country because they say, oh, we got a job in Maryland, we got a job in Grand Junction. They start going back. So economy and crime rate go together. People getting economic opportunity, the crime rate will drop. And Liberia will be getting sweeter for everyone.
Okay, so that's Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He's our guest this morning. Wanted to be president, explaining his plan for us as a nation. So, we're running out of time, so I'll take a few calls and then get back to him for his parting comment. Then we'll call you a day right here on the show. So, we'll be taking your calls on 0775 360 356, 0775 360 356, and 0555 679 089. A minute to a caller this morning, and then we try to wrap up. Good morning.
Good morning,
Yeah, welcome. Quickly, your name. Quickly, 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. The country has said all. But you know the Liberia people will not have fully law. When Liberia people will have fully law, people that can go there, you don't need for to see for election. The difference is all the votes that they rule. Because in there we still making the country. That he will say the country people that are there, corruption free for it as a government country.
Okay, thank you. That's a good person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, my best brother.
Morning, morning, sir.
This is
Quickly.
I call to inform you that I want to call you personally to talk with you, but not from here.
Okay.
Just call about
All right, you can get my number from the host.
Okay, you will get the number. Let's take this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Grover, calling from the Cllr community.
From Cllr, go ahead. 30 seconds.
You know, the honorable man is already speaking good for me. I'm very enjoying the way he speaks. But rather, if he once he wins, his disaster is going to be like because you have a good platform and
Okay. I'll take this one. 0775. Let's see. Okay, who here? I'll take this one. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome. What is the name?
Yeah, anyway, I'm Mr. Kelly calling from Tomo Village.
Kelly from Topo Village. 30 seconds.
Yeah. You see, our foundation or our politics in Liberia sometimes it look challenging because why? You see, every leadership or every country you find, we must know the next incoming leader. But whenever our politicians are behaving in a manner in which we don't understand them, it looks so much challenging because number one, when you go to the Uganda, people hire one person. You go to the other country, people hire one person or incoming president. So, but we don't even know our wrong from right because for one good thing, number one, our country don't have no plan, no master plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother. Let's take this person. Let's take two more and then try to get back to our guest. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome. What is the name?
My name is Isaac Zagate, son of my country.
Isaac, go ahead.
I want to say hi to your studio guest.
Hello.
This is Tiawan Gongloe. My question here is, council, if the Liberian people choose to trust you with state power, will you not be the same like the others?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I just dropped the call. Let's take this one. We see. Let's see who you. Okay, oh, sorry, let's get rid of. Okay, let's take this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
Okay, my name is John L. Blooming. I'm speaking from Peace Island.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Okay, I appreciate my in-law, my little brother, Saye Gongloe. But I want to see him personally because I'm grieving. He knows what I'm talking about. Because the election coming, they may get my sister. So we have to do all we can do.
Okay.
If he can win, I want to see him. If you hear so, you can call me.
Well, call him in. Ain't gonna be the man in law. Call him in.
Call me in law.
Okay. That'll take two more, then we'll try to wrap up. What's happening this morning? Good morning. Hey, what do we see?
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, welcome. What is the name?
Thank you very much. This is Eric Bonnet, and I call you from Chicken Soup Factory.
Okay, Eric, 10 seconds.
I want to appreciate the oil in studio, and I wish you well. But my concern has to do with the 2023 elections going to look very competitive. It's going to be very difficult for one man to just come out as a winner in terms of second round. If the councillor in studio will be willing to actually emerge or ally with some other party in terms of running along with Joseph Yuma Bwaka, which is the United Party, the biggest opposition party, is he going to work with such a person so that they can come up victorious in the ensuing election? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take the last person, and then we'll get back to the councillor and wrap up this morning. Good morning.
How do you do?
Yeah, what is the name, sir? Where you call from?
I'm Dixon Vianonin from Chicken Soup Factory.
Go ahead, Dixon.
Yeah. You know, to say is there and to do is there. We know when Councillor Gongloe was serving, many people say hair is clean. Who told you Councillor Gongloe hair is clean?
What's the
when
point?
he was serving as Minister of Labour, you know how many presidents cried during any regime? What are you talking about, like leadership and that we shouldn't both have a weird. When Councillor Gongloe get in power that the sick, he will even be weapon of George Weah.
Okay.
When he was serving as Labour Minister, it was in the same Republic of Liberia. Why did he get to certain of the people that he wants to say today?
Okay.
What is it for them?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. We press the time so let's get back to the council.
My brother was speaking. I don't like bad English. What did he did? Okay, but you know, and let people listen. They can say every English on radio is good. What did he do? It should have been the right way to say it. But he didn't say specifically what I did wrongly at Labour Ministry. So since he didn't talk, let me talk about the things I did at Labour. I used to lead inspection myself, and there was a time I led inspection, and one of the inspectors went back to one supermarket and took money and I had dismissed immediately. I increased the work permit fees for non-Liberians because they were taking jobs that Liberians should do. You used to have Lebanese, Indians, toll boys all over the place, and different jobs. Accountants, our university graduate more accountant than anyone. So I increased the work permit fees from $400 to $1,000, and they immediately got rid of a lot of their foreign employees and started employing Liberians. That was one positive thing I did, and maybe he doesn't know. President Saye has so many labor ministers, but let him talk about 1 year and few months I spent. You know, then it was under my regime that the current labor law called Decent Work Act was produced and submitted to the president. In that Decent Work Act, something that was never in our labor law there. The workers have a right under that law to strike. It used to be illegal to strike. Then we have maternity leave for women, 3 months. And even if you are sick, some more months, some more time, and you will not be dismissed. Then we have paternity leave. It was never on our labor law, we added it there because we say that decent work standard according to ILO. When your wife delivers and you're an employee working with a private company, you have 5 days to stay with your wife while she takes care of children and stabilizes it.
Okay, Councillor.
So we did a lot of things as Minister of Labor. The other president said whether I would do what I'm saying. Let them check my track record. I always do. My last position was being president of the Bar Association, and I cut off the illegal practice of law, all the quack lawyers, by introducing licensing system that makes you fill a form and meet all the requirements before you are licensed. So the non-lawyers left the field because of the measures that I introduced. So I've been a man, not much of words, but of action, because I think action speaks louder than words.
All right, thank you very much for coming, for honoring our invite. It was kind of tight, but at least it's really cute. Well, we'll be here tomorrow morning with another edition of the show. That's a thanks to the entire team who've been producing.